Hey guys, just wanted to let you know before the review got started that the Google form for the next game I play will be open. It should be in the card up there. I don't know if it's going to pop up, but it should be there. So if you want to vote, I would highly suggest voting right now. I think it's a lot of Pac-Man stuff. It's like Namco Museum, which I don't want to play. Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness, which I would suggest choosing, and then Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. The only reason I suggest Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness, I really like that game. It kind of has a special place in my heart because of the music, but it's getting close to the birthday special, and so I want to have Namco and Star Wars Shadows of the Empire do not have multiplayer, and so you still choose whichever one you want to, but it would help me to get multiplayer footage if I had Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. It's okay if that doesn't end up getting selected. If we have like a tie, I'm just going to end up choosing Miss Pac-Man. But, yeah. So, there's that. Also, if you've never seen one of my reviews before, I would suggest you go check out the Google form if you think about staying around. That way you can kind of choose where I go, or choose what games I play, whichever ones you want to see. And then also, there is a link in the description below. I put it in my last two reviews if you ever go check those out. It's called the review grading system, and it's just a Google form where I explain my methods, and I have the scores on the bottom. So the scores have changed. I won't say any in case you haven't seen the other reviews, but the scores have changed a lot, and even in this what is here now, this system should stay. Yeah, it should stay. But like the other two scores that I had, the original score was like a point above what it actually is now, because yeah, the changes I made. So on those videos, if you ever the Pilot 64 and the Pokemon Snap, there's an update in the description right below that shows you the most updated score. And like I said earlier, I plan on not changing this. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoy the review, and let's get started. Nascar 99, your basic licensed simulation racer for the home console. Opposite to what the game's title says, this game actually came out in 1998 and was the second in its series. Being another licensed sports game, NASCAR 99 really didn't have a lot going for it. There were already popular racers like Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing that way outclassed it. And even with those games out of the picture, many other simulation racers were already on the market. Is NASCAR 99 truly a game in its own, or just another simulation racer? As surprising as it is, NASCAR 99 actually has a story. It's nothing monumental, but it's there. The story of NASCAR 99 is based on how you do in races, and is told through the newspaper headings at the end of each race. If you finish near the back, the heading will talk about how you had a bad day racing. If you stay far ahead the entire race, the heading will talk about how you blew out the competition. Sometimes, the headings aren't even about you. If you finish near the middle and nothing really exciting happens during your race, the heading will talk about something else, like another racer edging out for a close win. As cool as this is, there's no real plot, and it's not really a story, but it's nice that they decided to give the game some life. In the end, I give NASCAR 99's story a 2.5 out of 5. I know NASCAR 99 doesn't have like an actual story, but there is something there, so that's why I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. NASCAR 99's gameplay and controls are very simple. The controls of NASCAR 99 are technically two buttons, press A to accelerate and B to brake, with the joystick to turn. Other controls are the left and bottom C buttons, the left C button to add and remove the map, time and speedometer, and the down C button to change the camera. I really like these controls, because you don't have to remember button combinations to play. It's just A, B, and the joystick. The gameplay is just as easy. Race around the track. Also, most tracks are circle-shaped, so it's easier to focus more on placement instead of driving. But there are some tracks like Watkins Glen and Sears Point, where the developers forgot this was a NASCAR game and thought it was Mario Kart. These tracks have extremely sharp turns and very narrow roads, which if you haven't guessed already, doesn't really mesh well when you're going 185 miles an hour. A nice feature that NASCAR 99 incorporated is being able to choose how long you want the race to be by altering the lap count. All of the tracks default to 3% of their lap count when you start up the game. This is usually 5 to 12 laps based on the size of the track. This is nice because you can experience the track but not get bored of it. But if you want to experience what an actual NASCAR race would be like, you can crank it up to 100% lap count with 300 plus lap races. So, if you're a hardcore NASCAR fan, you can experience your favorite track at full length. I think this is an ingenious way to make this game more open, because it tends to two playstyles. The one of the casual Mario Kart player who wants shorter tracks, and the one of the hardcore NASCAR fan who wants that 300 plus lap experience. Sadly, as great as NASCAR sounds, there are still some problems with this game. The first, and most problematic, being the rubber banding AI. For those of you that don't know what rubber banding AI is, it's when the CPUs perform based on you. So, if you're doing bad in a race, the CPUs will slow down to accommodate to the player. But, if you're in the front of the pack, they'll be right on your tail all race. Most people remember the most notorious rubber banding AI from Mario Kart 64, but in NASCAR 99, it's not as bad. In NASCAR 99, you have a choice before each race whether or not to qualify for a position. If you choose not to, you'll start in last. So, if you choose to not qualify for a position, you start the race with easy AI, making it easier to start off the race on a good note. Another problem I had with some races was the emptiness. The game does try to keep the player entertained with different backgrounds on each track, like day, night, and sunset, along with the commentary from the announcers, but that entertainment is short-lived when you realize you can't catch the CPUs. After about 2 to 3 laps of most races, if you're stuck in a place close to first, like 5th or 6th, the CPUs in the front tend to rubber band up a half lap to make it that much harder to catch up. This can make the gameplay stale if you're racing a race you just can't win. Lastly, I want to talk about something minor but important. The first place cutscene. There's not a lot to this cutscene, but every time I got it, I wanted to do it again. So it helped motivate me to continue racing to receive that cutscene, even if the track was boring or had extreme 180-degree turns. In the end, NASCAR 99's gameplay and controls gets a 3.9 out of 5. I really like the simple controls and first place cutscene, but the rubber banding AI really hurt the gameplay for me. Sadly, NASCAR 99 flunks in the music department. Aside from the announcer's commentary, there are about 4 songs in the entire game. The title theme, the menu theme, and 2 race themes. 2 race themes. There are 17 tracks in the championship mode, and just 2 race themes. If there is one saving grace for this, it's the sound effects. They're not good, but the revving engine and commentary cuts up the themes to where you won't hear these songs 8 times, but at least 5. NASCAR 99 gets off lucky with a score of 2.5 out of 5. I will say that it's hard to tell that just 4 themes are used, because the themes are pretty good for a NASCAR game, there's just not enough of them, which is why NASCAR 99's music gets a 2.5 out of 5. Now NASCAR 99 actually has a very big selection. 17 tracks, with 15 of them being NASCAR tracks, and 2 being F1 based, with 31 of the previous season's best drivers to choose from. The best thing about this is that they're all available from the second you start the game. You don't have to unlock any characters or tracks, but that's also the problem. There's no unlockables. As obvious as it seems to give NASCAR 99's selection of unlockables a 2.5 out of 5 for having no unlockables, I gotta give it a 3 out of 5. Even though NASCAR 99 only fulfills half of this section, that half is really good. It's super convenient when playing this game to know that you're not missing out on some really overpowered character before starting a race. That way, you can just choose whoever you think is the best. You don't have to unlock achievements or do certain missions to play the best form of this game. It's just turn on the power and go. This is a nice relief when most games are so achievement based. Even without the unlockables, NASCAR 99's great selection earns it a 3 out of 5. My favorite part of any N64 game, the multiplayer, and thankfully, NASCAR 99 has a pretty good one. Even though the multiplayer only consists of versus races, it was still a lot of fun. Sadly, there's no 4-player mode, but the 2-player mode wasn't bad, because you can choose to go against CPUs or 1v1. Anders and I had a great experience with the multiplayer. From flips to breaking the pit stop, it was a blast. At first, I didn't really think the multiplayer would be fun, because of the somewhat mild single-player mode. But if you've got a friend who wants to goof around, this is a great multiplayer, which is why I give NASCAR 99's multiplayer a 5 out of 5. This mode was definitely the best part of NASCAR 99, and I'm just glad I got to experience it. NASCAR 99 was an interesting experience. At face value, it was just another sports racer, and with no real hope compared to the other good racers on the console. Even with its repetitive music, lack of unlockables, and semi-story, NASCAR 99's multiplayer and gameplay and controls really brightened up the game and made it fun to play. I'm glad that I went into the game with mediocre expectations, and that those expectations were changed in a positive way. In the end, NASCAR 99 receives an end score of 3.4 out of 5. Honestly, I can't believe this, but this game actually passed up both Pilot Wing 64 and Pokemon Snap. I actually looked over and altered some of the grades of Pilot Wing 64 and Pokemon Snap to be more accurate to my present grading system, and if either of those games had a fraction of a multiplayer, they would have gotten a 4 or above, beating NASCAR 99. But in the end, it came down to multiplayer. Even with NASCAR 99's mediocre story, music, and unlockables, it pulled away for an underdog victory with its gameplay, controls, and multiplayer. Hey everybody, thank you for watching through this review, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there is a Google form. Should be, no, that's mine, top right. Yeah, it should be up there. I pointed over there in the intro. It should be over there. But, yeah, like I said, go check that out, and not only can you see what game I play next, but you can also, there's a little question below. I think it is required. And just tell me what game you want me to play. If you don't know what games I have, trust me, these aren't the only 3 games I have. Pilot Wings, Pokemon, Diddy Kong Racing, and NASCAR. I made a video as the N64 collection, if you want to go check that out. That might be in the card too. That way you can see what games I have, so you know what to type in. Like, I think I've gotten quite a few. I've got like Castlevania, Bomberman Hero, Banjo-Tooie, the Mario parties, stuff like that. That's about it. So thank you. If you watched this far, that's awesome. Now you get to know everything. You know about the discussion and the Google form and stuff. So hopefully, like I said earlier, you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. And God bless.